Welcome to this explainer, where we're going to take 5 seemingly complex seafood recipes and totally transform them into a foolproof curriculum for complete beginners in the kitchen. I am just so thrilled to guide you through this, honestly. Because seafood, well, it gets a reputation for being tricky, right? But it absolutely doesn't have to be. We're going to break these recipes down to their core techniques. If you're a little nervous about cooking seafood at home, trust me, you are not alone. But today, we're going to extract the foundational culinary lessons from these dishes to build your confidence step by step. Oh, and before we even begin, just a super quick note on kitchen safety. Always start with a clean preparation checklist to keep your workspace organized, and make sure you're washing your hands and sanitizing your cutting boards immediately after handling raw fish. Good habits build great chefs. All right, let's look at our agenda for today. First, spotting perfect seafood doneness. Second, building flavor with aromatics. Third, crafting simple savory sauces. Fourth, folding and steaming tamales. And finally, number 5, utilizing canned fish and pantry staples. Okay, section 1, spotting perfect seafood doneness. The first and honestly the most crucial step for any beginner is simply knowing when your fish is done cooking so you don't overdo it. In the tomato garlic shrimp recipe, we get this fantastic visual cue. You only need to saute small shrimp over mid-high heat for roughly 30 seconds until they turn opaque. That transition from translucent to a solid color, that's your universal signal right there. If you walk away or lose focus on your heat control, you're going to end up with rubbery shrimp. So definitely keep your eyes on that skillet. This perfectly illustrates how heat and time completely vary based on your protein. While those tiny shrimp take seconds, large shrimp take about 5 minutes until they turn pink. Then you have the sweet salmon recipe, which requires a really high heat, skin side down sear before you even flip it. And hey, a quick pro tip for pan-searing salmon, always pat your fish fillets completely dry with a paper towel before they hit the hot oil. That easy little step is absolutely the ultimate solution for preventing your fish from sticking to the pan, and it guarantees a beautiful, crispy skin. So the big takeaway here is that while recipes will give you times like 5 minutes, watching for those color changes to pink or opaque is your best tool. Really, a basic nonstick or stainless steel skillet is all the equipment you need. Just trust your eyes. Moving on to section 2, building flavor with aromatics. Let's talk about the foundation of your dish before the seafood even hits the pan. These recipes rely heavily on aromatics to create really deep flavor bases. Think finely chopped garlic and onion for a tangy tomato sauce, or thick quarter-inch sliced ginger and scallions for a sweet, savory salmon dish. Taking a little time to practice your knife skills here, making sure your ginger chunks are uniform and your onions are evenly minced, guarantees they'll cook evenly without burning. Just like we see in the mustard cream sauce instructions, taking the time to gently cook these aromatics first, like softening a minced shallot for 5 minutes in vegetable oil, is exactly what unlocks those complex flavors. Now, if you ever make the common mistake of burning your aromatics, don't try to power through it, seriously. Just wipe the pan clean and start over with lower heat. It will literally save the entire dish. Section 3, crafting simple, savory sauces. Now that we have our flavor base, let's tackle the part that sounds super fancy but is actually incredibly simple. In the sweet salmon recipe, right after removing the seared fish, we add white wine to the tender ginger and scallions to deglaze the pan. This is a crucial foundational technique for capturing every single drop of flavor stuck to the bottom of your skillet. By the way, if you don't have white wine in your pantry, a super easy ingredient swap is using chicken or vegetable broth with a quick squeeze of lemon to replicate that acidic lift. This timeline maps out the reduction of a cream sauce so clearly. You cook the wine down for 2 minutes first to burn off the raw alcohol. And then, actually wait, before you add anything else, you want to make sure your heat is lowered. If you don't drop the heat before adding your heavy whipped cream and Dijon mustard, you risk curdling the whole sauce. Lower the heat, stir it in, and cook for another 2 minutes for a really smooth, savory finish. A great sauce also needs balance. Across all these recipes, we see acidity being used to cut through richness, which totally makes the flavors pop for beginners. Whether it's Mexican lime juice balancing a heavy, earthy tomato puree, or dry white wine and lemon juice cutting through heavy whipped cream and mayonnaise, balancing salt and acidity, well, that's the secret to making a dish taste like it came straight from a restaurant kitchen. Whether you're making the tangy tomato garlic puree or the sweet soy sauce glaze, the universal visual indicator for a finished sauce across these recipes is waiting for it to reach a thickened consistency. Basically, you want it to lightly coat the back of a spoon. The second it hits that texture, pull it off the heat immediately. Section 4, folding and steaming tamales. Next up, we are tackling a specific physical technique that might seem a bit daunting at first, making salmon tamales from scratch.
The perfect tamale starts with precise measurements because that guarantees consistent results every single time. You'll measure out 3-ounce balls of your masa dough and press them between 2 sheets of wax paper to flatten them into smooth 7-inch diameter circles. Measuring accurately here ensures your tamales cook totally evenly later on. Let's break this down into 4 really simple steps. First, portion your flavorful salmon, onion, and chili filling right into the center. Then, use that bottom wax paper to do all the heavy lifting of folding the dough over. This is brilliant because the dough won't stick to your hands at all. Seal it tight, roll it up in plastic wrap, and twist the ends firmly to create a nice, secure bundle. Once bundled, the cooking process is just a 2-part method. First, a 15-minute steam over boiling water. This cooks the masa and gently cooks the raw salmon inside. Then, you follow that up with an 11 to 13-minute bake at 375 degrees Fahrenheit until they are perfectly golden brown on the outside. Finally, Section 5, canned fish and pantry staples. Let's explore how to make seafood super accessible and affordable by using items you might already have sitting in your pantry. Cooking fresh fillets over high heat is a fantastic skill, for sure. But comparing these two approaches, you see you don't always need fresh fish for an amazing meal. Combining just 4 ounces of affordable canned tuna with instant oats, cracker crumbs, and an egg binds it all together to create 8 hearty patties with minimal fuss. They fry up beautifully in a bit of butter and are incredibly budget-friendly. Another incredible pantry shortcut we found in these recipes is using canned soups to instantly create rich, savory sauces with practically zero effort. Look at how cream of shrimp soup is melted with sour cream and butter, or how a single can of cream of mushroom soup is split using a quarter of the can to moisten the tuna patties themselves and mixing the rest with milk and mayo for a ridiculously quick topping sauce. With these canned shortcuts, dishes like the Southern shrimp sauce become so beginner-friendly. Once your shrimp turn opaque, you literally just dump the rest of the ingredients into a saucepan and let it simmer over low heat. Serve this over a simple side dish of cooked rice or, maybe with that shredded cabbage we saw in the tomato recipe earlier, and you've got yourself a phenomenal, complete meal. So by understanding Dundas cues, layering aromatics, balancing those rich sauces with acidity, and utilizing your pantry for easy swaps, you've essentially just learned the core grammar of cooking seafood. It's not magic, it's just technique. Taking all these lessons from today's explainer into account, I have to ask, which of these culinary techniques are you going to test out in your kitchen tonight? Are you going to practice your heat control on some pan-seared salmon, or maybe whip up a batch of those budget-friendly tuna patties? Whatever you choose, dive right in, trust your eyes, and most importantly, enjoy your time in the kitchen.